After Chillers with DJ Jawz on the Podcast Network.
That's right. This is how we do it every single Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It's After Chillers on the Podcast and Chill Network. What is the date today? The date is the 14th of September. You know, all legends are born in September. I was born in September. Double HP was born in September. Rest in peace, Double HP, man. Rest in peace, your music lives on forever. I mean, we're gonna be enjoying his music for the next couple of years to come, and he's been dope. There's always talks about Double HP jumping on Amapiano, which he was gonna murder. There's talks about Double HP jumping onto trap, which he was gonna murder. Double HP was just a phenomenal musician, and he's the kind of talent that people like our guest tonight would have snatched, and I wonder if they were working together at some point, and did he offer Double HP a shoulder to cry on? A shoulder to cry on. To welcome, ladies and gentlemen, this is After Chillers. I'd like to welcome you guys to the Big Dandala. You've heard a lot of stories about this man. You've heard people saying bad things about this man. But have you heard this man say anything about anyone? Or does he always come to defend himself? Well, before we get into that, let me just shout people who are tuning in right now. Prince and Khadima, how you doing, my man? Tuning all the way from Hillbro. I've got Unicorn T. What up, what up, what up, what up? Mpok Gift, I see you. Julia, Jules, Mr. Kilogram. Aware. Get your friends to tune in right now. It's going to be a big show. Tashinga, Nyandoro, Itada, where you tuning from? T-Set, Ramatibe, Henda. Kabumbu Ndibu Wo Awe me second, and I know you're tuning in from Venda. Oba King, Stewards, what's up? Siviwe, Rachive, Bushiro Magwala, Fano Mudau, all the way from Venda, Toyando. I need to take a spin in Toyando. It's been a while. The country is opening up, so I need to come through. Oba King Stewards, all the way from Botswana. Aware, Mr. Kilogram. Aware, Lisiba Monganedi, all the way from London. London, stand up. All our piano artists are there. I hope you're having fun with them. Annalisa Ndomilo Reon Kungao Memani from Sauta. Welcome to the show. Natep, hosh. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Lance Stehr in the building. So much you've heard about him. And I know a lot of people don't even know what your face looks like. They hear stories about
they won't
you.
now.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get you a mask, to cover your face.
No, I've got one here.
So the mystery continues.
Yes, okay.
I don't know if you remember this, Lance. The first time we kind of spent a full day together was the time when I was still working at YFM, and there was a festival at the University of Limpopo. Back then it was called TEF University. It was me, you, and Zola. When Zola was just coming out of the shell, just about to blow up. We drove from Joburg. I remember you called me. You're like, no, you're looking for this hot DJ Jawz, yeah, I like your mixes. Let's go to Venda. Let's go do this thing. There's an artist that I'm launching. His name is Zola. So let's go with Zola to the University of Limpopo, Teflop, and go do this thing. I opened for Zola. We had a fabulous show. Zola killed it. He was jumping all over the fence, and I was like, wow. That was the first time I saw him perform, and I'm like, where is this old Madala getting all this talent from? I mean, I'm supposed to know about Zola before you did, and you actually introduced me to Zola. And I was like, big up to you. How did you find Zola?
It was interesting because at that point, YFM was the catalyst and the breeding ground for a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And Zola, I went into YFM with a group called Ghetto Love. I don't know if you remember Ghetto Love.
Yes, I remember Nandi and them.
Yes, and they were all hot chicks. And we went in, and as I walked through the door of YFM, Zola was there, and he had these long dreads. They were thick. They were like this thick. And he said to me, come here quickly, come and listen to the song. And he put these headphones on me, and I listened for 30 seconds, and I looked at his face, and I thought, fuck, this is not going to work. All right. The track he was playing with me was terrible. And I looked at his dreads, and I was like, this is this. And obviously, you don't want to discourage people at all. You want to keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I took the headphones off, and I said to him, fuck, man, it's hot, but I'm busy with these girls, and we got to do this interview quickly, and maybe we'll hook up sometime. And then we just released Yuzu Yuzu, right? One. Yeah. And it became massive. We did tracks over there with Kylex, Amu, Ishmael. And once it became this massive hit, Yuzu Yuzu 1, the next year we were working on Yuzu Yuzu 2. And for me, I spoke to the producers of Yuzu Yuzu 2, and I said, we got to find somebody to blow up from the series. Can you send me all your actors and your actresses that are going to be in the series, and let's put them in the studio, and somebody is going to pop from there. And then they sent everybody down to the studio, and then I kept on phoning KB, because KB was our main producer at the time. And then KB said, I said, have you found anything yet? And he said, yo, fuck, there's this guy. We must hear this. And I went down, and then he said, no, he wants to come and see you. You know him. And I was like, I know him? From where? He says, no, he says he knows you. And then he arrived at the record company, and we were in the back alley of another record company. And he walked in, and he had no dreads. And I was like, shit. And then I think he brought the track with him. And from there, it was obvious that he was going to be massive.
Yeah.
And we hadn't even seen any of the shots from Yuzu Yuzu 2 when he played Papa Action. So that was where we started. And from him, came Skomplas, and then there was Mapaputsi, and there was Bricks and Brown Dash, and, the list went on. So I've been very blessed to have worked with so many really talented artists.
I mean, it was just let me just put it to some of the people in the comments who are asking me, hey, Jawz, how old are you? All right, I'm not as old as Lance, and I'm not as old as Zola. I got into the game very young, and I was just running shit when I was very young. So, but just to put it into the youngins in the comments, Ghetto Ruff was like, can you imagine all the hottest Amapiano artists right now being under one stable? That's what Ghetto Ruff was. Because every Kwaito, every hot Kwaito track, every hot upcoming artist that we knew at that time was under Ghetto Ruff. Ghetto Ruff was more like a genre even. I wouldn't even say a record label. It was like a genre. We knew everything that comes out of that stable is just dominating the airwaves, is dominating the streets, is dominating all the concerts, all the cars. Everyone is just bumping all that. But how did you begin this mother of a ship, Ghetto Ruff? I know you didn't just start with Zola. Obviously,
no. It started before Zola, and it started with Profs to the City, the first hip hop group, that South African hip hop group that was banned in the country, right? And they were banned because of their lyrical content. And I put them together in 1988, 89,
Oh.
and they were throwing they were throwing stones at the government at that time, and that was the National Party. So from 1988 up until 1996, right, the main concentration was with Profs of the City. They went international. They toured with James Brown, Public Enemy, The Levelers, The Lord, Fugees, Lauryn Hill, etc. But the one problem that Profs of the City had, they didn't have a commercial track. They didn't have a hit.
Yeah.
Right? And it's very difficult in this music industry to survive without a hit. And they survived they had 7 albums they released.
Yeah. And there is Nota in the comments. He says, big up to you, Lance. Lance is like a father to me. Shout out, Nota, for always showing love, man. And so, in a nutshell, you are the father of SA hip-hop.
Hey, I really wouldn't take that title. I would rather say that I'm a supporter of music. South African music.
Yo.
And with the music that we're busy recording at the moment. And hey, you said it's September. It's also Vusi Nova's. He's in September, 24th of September. It's his birthday.
Mine is on the 25th of September. So yeah, we're going to have a big one.
Yeah, you see, the great people.
We're going to have a big one. So, but Lance, there's a lot of artists that are always, talking smack about you. I mean, with the whole giving them drugs and all of that. I thought, okay, maybe Lance, when he's not talking to me, Lance is like a big mafia, hidden somewhere. And then when you come talk to me, because when you talk to me, it's just soft and we talk about, nice things, and you've never done anything bad to me. And I'm like, but that's how mafias are, So, but, and I'm like, why doesn't Lance, offer me drugs or something, like I just want to see it, you know what I'm saying? And we've known each other for a very long time. I mean, people like Bongani coming out and saying, you offered him drugs. Like, how do you offer someone drugs? And what was happening on that day when you did?
I think Bongani's got a really good imagination, and Bongani needed a lot of clickbait to get his TV program moving. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody in his right mind, right, after knowing knowing what Brenda went through in terms of trying to kick the habit of drugs, would try and turn her son onto drugs. I mean, that's complete fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And he's going to retract those statements. The problem with a lot of people, and I can name them in terms of the people that complain.
Yeah.
Bongani, Zola, and Bongani Zola and Bongani Zola, right? But no, Nati also said something as well.
Oh,
but
Nati.
when you look at it, yeah, Nati Mabula.
No. Nati, he's a dope vocalist as well. Yeah.
So, but then when you analyze it, I mean, I've got relationships that span over 35 years in terms of artists.
Yeah.
So whether it be Reddy D from Prophets of the City, whether it be Amu, whether it be DJ Cleo, whether it be any of the artists that I've worked with before, Ishmael, even though Ishmael's career has gone up and down, you know, I mean, I'm still working with him. And for me, one of the biggest enemies of music, right, and of artists, the biggest enemy is drugs.
Yeah.
Like you've got drugs and then you got fame, okay?
Yeah.
Those two things, once you mix those two things together, you're fucked. You're completely fucked. So the notion that you cannot run a record label, right, by giving people drugs. You must be stupid, because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. So it's very sad that some people will perpetuate that story, right? And I'm still waiting for somebody to actually come up with hardcore evidence, because I can say stuff about you, Jawz, quite easily right now.
Of course.
I can drop you right in the shit.
Of course.
Okay. Of course. And it'll just be words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And we are living in a time of social media where anybody can say anything. I mean, to be honest with you, I was really worried, right, after what was broadcasted on Mojo Love about that whole the drug incident, the ripping off of money, all that. I was worried because I'd realized that point that in actual fact you can say anything about anybody, and once it goes viral and once it gets onto the net, it's truth.
Yeah, people are going to perceive it as truth.
Yes, they perceive it as truth. It's not regarded as fake news at all or anything like that. Now you've got a battle to come back and say, no, dudes, this is not true at all. And then, what's this guy say? We know it's true. Of course, the music industry is loaded with a lot of drugs and alcohol and all of those things. And in actual fact, the sad part about it is I hear from people that the drugs that are happening now in the industry, it's worse than what was happening before.
What was happening before?
Now.
What was happening?
No, in terms of drugs.
Oh, the way people are taking them.
Yes, I hear it's completely out of control now.
Yeah, because now I think also what you said about what fucks up the industry is the money, the ego, and the drugs. I mean, when you have a lot of artists making so much money and with drugs so easily accessible to them, I mean, it's so easy for the talent to just drop like that. And now when they are asked, why are you now into drugs? Or when they get busted, they say they get them from you.
Yeah.
Like,
I've got kids, right? My youngest child is 22 years old. My eldest child is 33. My middle child is 34 and 31. I'm just like you go. I mean, when I saw on TV Bongani say that, okay, said that he did his first line with me.
Wow.
Sure.
I was and after I had spent so much time on him in terms of taking him into the house, taking him, like looking after him more than I'd actually look after my kids. Okay. I was shocked. I was like, wow, you can stoop that low just so that you can try and get people to watch your TV show.
Sure.
That is sad shit. That is very sad. And then obviously it's perpetuated by other people on other shows on online, where they'll speak to some artist and go, hey, so you into drugs? Hey, did you get those drugs from Lance? Yeah. And the guy says, Lance who? Lance Stehr. And the guy, what are you talking about?
The mafia.
So, anyway, sorry. Yes.
Can I just ask a question, Lance?
Yeah.
Sure.
First of all, I just want to say, man, thank you for having. We are very grateful to have you on this show, and you've been in the industry for almost 3 decades. And I just wanted to know one thing. I mean, how did you manage to deal with so many artists all at once? I mean, you have a lot of creative artists. And the second question will be, who was the most creative or an artist that you felt that it was easy to work with out of all these creatives that you used to work with?
All right. So I look back in the period from 2000 to 2006. Okay, I look at that period now, and I actually 2000, maybe it's 1998 to 2006, and I look at the number of artists that we released and produced, and I also look back and go, fuck, how did that happen? Okay, because you had just a couple: Scheme, Odemister, Amu, Pitch Black Afro, Zola, Scomplas, DJ Cleo, Bricks, yes, Mafaputsi,
Morafe,
and then
Ismail,
Morafe,
Tuk Singanga.
So I also look back at that period, and I think, okay, I was very fortunate that there were enough producers that I was working with.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate that I also have an ear for hits. So I began to find that, if I like something, then there's a lot of other people that like it as well. So if I'm liking, oh shit, listen to the new Marathi stuff. Oh shit, that's really hot. Oh, Jawzy, okay, that's good. And I've also made me very fortunate that I've got the ability to, like now, if I play you the stuff we're working on now, I am so excited about the stuff we're working on now. It's like, it's a mixture of a lot of genres that we put together, etc. So all I can say is thanks to my ancestors, that's all, for this wonderful gift that has been given to me. And the second thing is, who's the most talented person and the easiest person?
Mm-hmm.
The sad part is the most talented person and the easiest person isn't necessarily the person that was the most commercial, right?
Yeah.
And that is obviously Reddy D. Reddy D is the guy, right? He hasn't been
the legend,
most commercial guy, okay, but just in terms of talent, in terms of DJing talent, I know Jawz is better than him, but Jawz is on another level.
You go, Jawz.
And then I know you've made tons of money in your life, Lance. I can't even begin to imagine how much you have made. But who have made you the most in all those artists?
It's very difficult, okay, to say. All right, for example, I would say if Zola kept his head, right, and carried on the path that we had created for him, okay, because when we left Zola, we left him with his 8 cars, his 4 houses, a huge brand, a Cell C brand, a clothing brand, a profile that was the biggest in the country next to Madiba. Okay?
Yeah.
But he very quickly killed it. Okay. I'm not saying that he made us the most money. I'm just saying he had the biggest potential to make himself and us a ton of money. Okay. And he shot himself in the foot. Everything balances out, because if you have a look at, if you go through all of those artists, you go through DJ Clear, Goodbye. How big was Goodbye?
It was super
Say
big.
Goodbye.
It was super
It was massive, okay? But then again, how big was Sweetie My Baby, right? Was also massive. How big was Pitch Black Afro? Massive. Mapaputsi, Izinja. So things were just like, whoa, just happening up and down. And now even recently you had Nomvula, right? Also happening, which is big. Then you've got Aspere Langa from Vusinova. Okay? So, and I haven't, there's a lot of songs I must probably have left out. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to say who's made the most money.
Yeah.
When you are also, I can also tell you most probably who still owes us the most money.
Who owes you a lot of money? How do artists owe you a lot of money?
What is that? How do they owe you?
How do they owe you? How does it get to a point where an artist owes you?
How does it get to that point?
Yeah.
So, artist starts off, you're working on a project, okay? And you haven't released the project yet.
Yeah.
You're working on it, and there are expenses to be paid. And when I say expenses, we're talking about living expenses. You're talking about accommodation. You're talking about eating. You're talking about those things that you would normally come in, and you've already got that sorted.
Yeah.
So the money eventually gets really a lot when the artists, when they do make it, they start living beyond their means. So people have got to drive the most fanciest car. They've got to impress people. They've got to get to a bar, and they've got to a club, and they've got to buy drinks for everybody because they are the guy. Okay. Not everybody is like that. There are certain people that have managed their careers really well. I think DJ Clear did a really good job by himself when he left after Escaleni 5 or 4, 5, 4, 6, something like that. But there are other artists who just couldn't manage their careers. It's sad. It's very sad, because as a person, as a human being, right, I would like to see everybody succeed. Yeah. So if you work with somebody, you would like to see the graph of that person go, okay, they started there, but it goes up, because you want to have a relationship with somebody for a really long time, and you want to see them successful. Yeah. I've worked with people who are now in jail, all right? There's people who've been in jail for murder, for rape, for a lot of different things. And that is really sad. Yeah. That's because it's not that, it's the time that you've spent nurturing the talent and nurturing the human being to not be in that position. Yeah. So it's I don't know. We just went somewhere else, but anyway, it's not a.
But
this is the.
But are we gonna see you and Zola making up? How's your relationship now?
I don't even know where to start there. That is another book. I think that that Zola needs guidance. He needs help. That's it. He needs help. Because you cannot have been left with so much and today have so little.
Yeah. And then all the other artists that you've had some sort of disagreements with, I mean, your Nati,
Bongani Fasi.
Your Bongani Fasis, are you going to mendel that relationship again? Is anything going to, I mean, yeah, cause
you know, I don't think that, I mean, I don't think, I mean, I'm looking at what I'm doing now, right? And I'm looking to projects in the future. And I'm also working quite a lot with my kids as well. And I've never given my kids enough time before, because a lot of the time was spent actually helping and nurturing artists at the expense of the time actually spent with my kids. Not saying that I didn't enjoy the music and spending time with them. I did. I mean, for me, you know, music is what I live for, right?
Yeah.
I'm most probably going to be dying in a studio or something, okay? So I can't be going back. And if the door's always open for people, I mean, people have come back, we've tried to help them. I mean, you know, and we try to, I mean, there's one artist who I'm working with, who I'm starting to work with now, who I haven't worked with in 14, you know, I'm trying to do some maths here quickly. I haven't worked with him in 16 years, and the tracks that he's going to do is just going to blow everybody away.
Is that KB?
No, KB was never really an artist.
Yeah, he was a mad producer, but I know he came back at some point last year.
Yeah, he came back at some point. He's been helping. No, it's not KB.
Yeah,
this is actually
someone else.
A vocalist. Yeah.
But looking at what we have right now, South African music, the differences that artists are having and all the mistakes that artists are making right now, what do you think should be done to make sure that South African music flows so smooth? It reaches the heights where it's supposed to. I mean, with Mapiano, we are seeing Mapiano are reaching other boundaries. But, I mean, you've been there when Kwaito was reaching these boundaries and something happened. There is something...
No. Okay. Kwaito has never reached... Whoa! Sorry.
Somebody's calling.
What happened?
Oh, okay, cool. No, you're back.
No, you know what happened? Wait, my battery's going down.
Oh, okay.
Shit. Hold on a second. Why is my battery going down? Hi. Wait a bit. I thought I'd plugged it in.
Oh, okay,
jeez,
cool.
This is a technical disaster. Oh, wait. Somebody put my plug out. Can't believe it. All right, hold on. Here we go. Hold on. There. I'm back on.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So, Kwaito never ever reached the heights that Amapiano is reaching at the moment. Never. Not even Kwaito never even reached maybe 15% of where Amapiano is. And it's not going to be long before, I mean, we're already seeing what's happening in Nigeria. They just ripped the genre off. They're smacking those tracks out. And, but it's not going to work for them because the producers, they just don't have the feel that the South African producers have. In the same way that it's very difficult for South African producers to produce Afrobeats. Okay, you haven't found a producer on this side who's doing Afrobeats that is like, wow, that is killing it.
Yeah.
So I think that the next year, 2 years, there's going to be a massive explosion out of South Africa with Amapiano. It's going to get bigger. And there's just, I mean, I'm not a Sangoma at all, but it's obvious where it's going. At the same time, we're releasing some Piano tracks very soon.
Yeah.
But we're aiming them at the global market.
And then where is hip hop?
obviously-
Where is hip hop gonna be in your graph?
Hip hop.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very, what is the word? Very sad with the hip hop, the state of hip hop in the country. We just don't seem to. I mean, there's a couple of rappers that are exciting me, but I'll be honest with you. I'm a piano lane, Afro soul, Afro beats, pop lane. Yeah. I was working with an artist that I really believed in terms of hip hop, and then sometimes things just don't work out.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Lance, we could still take another 5 hours just chatting about stuff, and unfortunately we're running out of time. But are we gonna see a book coming from you or an auto? Like a movie about Lance? That's something.
There'll never be. No, I don't think there'll be. I'm working on a Ghetto Ruff Motherland TV series. Okay, so don't be surprised if somebody phones you, and asks you for an interview, right, about that first time that you went to Limpopo.
I'm forever ready. No, I don't even want to be interviewed about that. Like, if ever there's gonna be like recaps of performances or whatever, I'm glad I can gladly play Zola in one of those recaps.
I was about to ask, is it also going to include all the black ships of Ghetto Ruff?
Like, it must have everything.
People must say, everybody's got their version, and if people are willing to talk, the camera will be there.
Yeah.
And, they must say what they want to say. Amu must say what he wants to say. Amu's always very quiet. But he must spit it out.
But he talks that one. Amu talks. Amu talks. And then, tell me, MacG was on the podcast yesterday. MacG was on the podcast. So what's your relationship like with MacG? He told us the whole story. He gave it to us. He was just helping Bongani carry the equipment to the new spot. He thought the equipment belonged to Bongani, and voila, he's into deep shit.
I think MacG tells a very good story. He's very entertaining. And, I think that there was a lot of things. The point of putting a charge against Bongani and MacG and Tessa and the other 7 people, because the charge sheet is still there. It's just that MacG and Tessa were the ones that came to the studio with the keys to give it to the police so the police could get into the place where the equipment was being housed. And that place was at a very famous another record company, well, I won't mention at all at this point, but they had the equipment there, all right, and it just happened that MacG came with the key to the door, and that's why the police said,
he had the evidence. They found the keys with him. So he actually, like, if I find the keys of a house where my stuff has been housed with you, Lance, you stole it.
No, the police said you are under arrest to MacG and to Tessa because they delivered the keys. But then the sad part about that whole story was that MacG and Tessa sat in jail for 3 days because Bongani wouldn't come forward and just say listen, and just tell the truth, number one, okay? The second thing was that for me, it was never to get Bongani behind jail, behind bars. It was not about that. It was about teaching Bongani life lessons, that you can't just take stuff that isn't yours because you are famous and you are talented, etc. No, you don't behave like that. So, and also I'd already discussed it with the prosecutors. And I said to them, I don't want this kid to go to jail or any of these people to go to jail. They must just learn a lesson that they must return this equipment. And in the end, I drove with Bongani in a bakkie to go pick up the equipment from where he had left it at various places. And the only reason I took Bongani in a bakkie with me was to try and teach him a lesson that you can't do that. But obviously that lesson was not learned.
Yeah. Oh, I saw Siviwe, sorry. Siviwe saying I'm interrupting you, Lance. Well, I saw that. Yeah, sorry for my. I was just in shock. Yo, wow, yo, Lance. I think we're gonna.
And
yeah,
just and then the last thing.
Yeah,
I mean on Bongani made allegations that he had been kicked out of Jawz, right? Mm-hmm. He was never kicked out of Jawz. We have it on record, recorded. We have it recorded that him, Deleuze, Ishmael, myself, Delphine, we had a meeting, and in that meeting, which is recorded, he said he wanted to leave Jawz. He wanted out, and he's leaving Jawz now. So, when you go on and you say that you were never kicked out, no, not at all. But anyway, that is another.
Yeah.
Just all these.
Yeah, I think you must just come to Podcast and Chill and just have all these questions to be answered, because they didn't tell us. MacG didn't speak to us. MacG spoke to MacG and Saul. So they've got the whole story. So I think that would be a platform to unravel and unpack all these things. Even Zola was there. Oh, all these people that were there. So yeah.
Listen.
Just one more question, Lance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, just one more question.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know who was the most mischievous person or the most mischievous artist who gave you the most shenanigans.
It was me.
Oh, apart from Bongani, we already know about Bongani.
I think Pitch Black Afro, right? Definitely right on the list over there. Pitch Black Afro, Zola is hectic. Zola was a handful. Pitch Black Afro, yeah. And Bricks always disappearing.
At least Bricks was just disappearing.
You had a handful.
Yeah, but when you're disappearing and there are concerts and oh my God, it just carries on and on. I think that I have to write all of these things down, and I have to write a book very soon.
Yeah.
And just to tell the journey and also to tell the things that people don't see, what happens behind the scenes.
Because let me tell you, Lance, there's a lot of stories that we hear through talks, and we don't know what's true, what's not. I mean, anyone, like you said, anyone can come and tell you anything. I mean, what happened to Morafe? What happened to, like all the people leaving? Like, was it a sour breakup or, a amicable breakup from the company? You know what I mean? So we just need to hear your side of the story, because we've heard a lot of their side of the story. And I think that'll be so nice to read. That's one book.
Do you know what would be the best thing? Is to get everybody who makes allegations and put them in the same room.
Sure.
Then it would be love and
we're
Joburg,
gonna need
like
some
love and
cops. We're gonna need some police and bouncers there. You.
Yeah.
Love and Joburg with Lance and Ghetto Ruff.
Do you know what is really funny?
Yeah.
When you look back and what happens in a label, right? It's a natural thing. You have a label, you've got a lot of talented people, right? Some people get more shine than others, okay? And then obviously the people that are getting shine, who are not getting that shine, are also going to be fucking pissed off. And there's going to be jealousy that's going to creep in, okay? And, Morafi was a very sad case because we'd supported Morafi for a very long time. And we believed in them. And just as Morafi was about to take off, okay, along came who? Along came Jawz.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, the country's focus just went on to Jawz. Right. And there was nothing that we could do at that point because Jawz had 4 people, Morafi had 3. Okay, Jawz then lost 1 person, Crazy Lou. And then obviously Morafi, Masrabi thought they were hard done by and like, oh, whatever. Because, I mean, I talked to the guys and they pointed out to me, they said, at that point, Lance, that's when it was hard for us. And luckily enough, there was a solo career created out of that dip that they went into, where that Cooley came up and did his own thing. But this music industry is really hard, and it's very, I think most of the people get into the music industry to get laid, the guys I'm talking about. Okay. All right. Because that fame thing gets them on a platform where, they can be on stage and just choose whoever you, and there can be the sort of after parties that can happen quite easily. And then the money comes after the fame, okay? But the problem that happens is that people don't calculate how long they're going to actually be famous and they're going to be earning money for. And when you're on that track, you believe it's going to last forever.
Yeah. On that note, let's leave it right here. Lance, thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait for your book. I can't wait for your biopic. I can't wait for anything that has to come from your end of the company, man. Your company has been serving us nothing but the best in entertainment. And I see people saying, oh, too soon. Hey, Lance, we can stay here. People are just enjoying this, man. This has been a nice eye-opener. And, hey, you've learned a thing or two, Mr. Sam.
Almost definitely. It's been incredible, bro.
Lance, you're a star, and keep on doing what you're doing, and I don't see you retiring anytime soon. I see you. I mean, you listen to all the demos. You run a company and you listen to all you actually listen to all the talent. You've been doing that for a long time. And a lot of people right now that are running big companies, they don't even listen. They have people listen to them and those people give them the music. But you listen to every song. And I appreciate you for that, Lance.
Hey, thank you. I enjoy music. I love music.
Yeah.
And if it were, I love music. And the saddest thing is you got to deal with the other shit around the music.
Done. Shout out to Talan, shout out to Sam, and shout out to everybody who's been tuning in. This has been an extended version of After Chillers. I mean, how can we not extend it, man? I mean, like, really, we can't cut this one short. You know what I mean? Thank you, everybody who's been tuning in. I see you, Tabang Libyang, Tato, Ngobene, Leona Piri. I saw Nota in the comments. Siviwe, shout out to you. Yeah. And every time when I'm making some sort of mistake here, don't be scared to let me know, man. We're all humans and we want to have a perfect show. Make sure that you also subscribe to my channel, DJ Jawz TV. That's where I do all my mixes. DJ Jawz TV. That's where I do all my music. That's where I do all my mixes. That's where I do all my cooking shows. Check you on the flip side. I love you all. Ciao, ciao.
After Chillers with DJ Jawz on the Podcast Network.